Let's look at movies from an expert's perspective.
We're thinking beyond movies.
Imagine being germ-free. It's Rheogenesis technology. It's On Cinema at the Cinema with me, your host, Tim Heidecker. Let's get the show started here. Hey everybody, this is Tim Heidecker, and welcome to another edition of On Cinema at the Cinema VR. And I do apologize. This is like
For the VR?
No, the VR has been a big hit. People are writing me saying how much they love the immersive experience, and thanks to you, Max, for being here. I just got crazy pollen or allergies or something. It's just like knocking me out. It's not a cold. Excuse me. This is terrible. I'm sorry. I'm just like, excuse me.
I'm glad I didn't take any of that stuff.
No, it's not from the stuff. And by the way, we've cut ties with Rheogenesis. I'm not sure where to look. I can look here. Rheogenesis has a great product, and I'm very upset because it's an amazing, life-changing, world-changing product. And what I found out 3 days ago, I was telling Max this, that the Delgados, what the Delgados and their lawyer has been pulling on me is got to be the crime of the century. And they've now come after my deal with Rheogenesis. So every dollar that was coming into this production for Rheogenesis, from the hard-earned money that you guys were spending, is now coming out of where it was supposed to go into the show
All
and
$10.
onto shut the fuck up and right into the fucking Delgado's bank account or their fund. And I'm so sick of this, and I'm at my fucking wit's end with them. And so don't go to Rheogenesis.com. Don't buy their, not crap, it's a great product. I'm still using it.
It's never even in stores in the first place. I
it
never
doesn't
saw
matter.
it anywhere.
Send it back, ask for a refund, because basically it's a money laundering. The Delgados are rotten and they're trying to ruin me. And my message to the Delgados is, fine, we're even, okay? You won. You've taken it all. I got nothing now. I don't have the ability to fund this show. And now you're telling me that I can't even review movies? We can't call it On Cinema at the Cinema? I was doing this well before I got involved with your son, and your son made the shitty mistake that he made that got him 6 feet under. And I'm not going to say anything more, because I know I'm a good enough lawyer to know that there's boundaries and we can't cross those. I'm sorry. I'm pissed. Excuse me. All right. What are you wanted to read a letter or some shit. Get quickly with it, because we have movies to review, and then I gotta get over to the courthouse.
Well,
because suddenly now I have to sign affidavits saying where the Rheogenesis money was going, as if there wasn't funding this or wasn't funding the VR. Max knew from the beginning where the funding stream for this show was coming from. So I might have to bring you down to court. Excuse me.
This is an open letter to Tim Burton. This is a follow-up to an open letter that I read on the show 2 weeks ago that, as you'll find out when you listen to what I'm going to read, that he has not answered that letter.
All right. Is this more Tim Burton shit?
Well,
quickly.
Mr. Burton, this is to notify you that your lack of response to my previous letter has only confirmed our worst suspicions about your lack of involvement with Sherlock Gnomes. Why won't you answer a simple and obvious question, which is, why did you decline to direct Johnny, your frequent collaborator over the past 2 decades, in Sherlock Gnomes? This is an open letter. By open letter, I mean I will be reading it on the air on my highly viewed program On Cinema at the Cinema. I hereby invite you to come on next week's episode as my special guest and discuss this matter with our panel of experts. If you do not reply, I can only assume that you wish for your standing and reputation amongst movie buffs and experts to falter. Sherlock Gnomes will not be taking home Oscar Gold this year, and that is in no small part due to your refusal to take the reins and direct the movie the way that it deserved to be directed, and to continue your outstanding collaboration with Johnny Depp.
All right. Thank you for that.
Hold on. It is incomprehensible why you would deny the movie-going public this treat. We hereby demand an answer as to why. You will be given ample time to explain your strange and disturbing motives when you appear on the show. Thank you for your consideration. So basically, we're inviting Burton on the show to answer these allegations and defend himself, which I think is completely fair considering the situation.
Thank you. You don't have to. You can read the letter. You don't have to explain the letter. I'm sick of this Tim Burton shit. Let it go. The movies today are Rampage, directed by Brad Payton, starring Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Malin Akerman. Based on the classic 80s, it's a video game movie featuring apes and monsters destroying cities. Am I allowed to, can I do bags? I don't know. I love this movie. It was a great action movie. 5 bags of popcorn.
I loved it too. It's actually interesting. Rampage, this new Rampage, is actually the 6th movie in movie history called Rampage, but none of them were remakes. They're not sequels. There's 6 different filmmakers who decided a Rampage would be a good title for a movie, and they're right, but it gets a little confusing if you own all these movies and you're trying to file them in any sort of system. Among the 6 Rampages, I would rank this as the second best of them. I would give it 5 bags of popcorn and maybe throw in some sort of stack of index cards that they could use to sort out any confusion.
Super Troopers 2, directed by Ken Kreskinensky, J. Kren Chan Ras S. Kahar, starring motherfucker J. Chanchka S. Kahar, Rob Lowe, there you go, and Emmanuel Trickricki. When a border dispute arises between the U.S. and Canada, the Super Troopers are tasked with establishing a highway patrol station in the disputed area. This was a Super Troopers movie based on the original Super Troopers, and good movie. 5 bags of popcorn based on Super Troopers.
I think good movie is kind of underselling it. I think it was a great movie, and I think that seeing the gang back after this many years, this has to set a record for the longest time between an original movie and its sequel. 15 years it's been since the first Super Troopers. I think they missed an opportunity here to call this movie Super Troopers rather than Super Troopers 2, Super Troopers, which I think would have been funny. But, you know, I don't need to tell them their job. There's plenty of good jokes and a lot of fun in this movie, and I would give it 5 bags of popcorn and maybe throw in a little, like a siren that you would find on the top of a highway patrol car.
Okay. All right. Did you have anything else you wanted to show on this episode?
I was going to do a popcorn classic.
Okay. Go ahead. Show the popcorn classic.
This is called The Life of David Gale, and it is directed by Alan Parker, who did Fame, which is one of my favorite movies, and it stars Kate Winslet and the great Kevin Spacey. It's a thriller, kind of a conspiracy movie about a professor who's accused of a murder, and it's up to you as the viewer to figure out whether or not he actually did the murder. So it keeps you on the edge of your seat. Very provocative film, and it's a true popcorn classic. And it was 2 hours and 11 minutes from Intermedia, Universal, and Saturn Films, and it was rated R. So do see The Life of David Gale.
All right, and next week we'll be back with more on cinema. Thanks for watching. Excuse me, I gotta lay down. I can't be here right now. I need some rest. I need some water.